Today I'm going to show you how to DIY this macrame boho style wall hanging. Stay tuned. Be sure to take a screenshot of the details of today's project. Now let's get started. Find the center of your rope by folding it over to form a loop at the end. With your loop, tie a lark's head knot onto your wooden dowel. Repeat this process until you have all 16 cords on your wooden dowel. Once they're all on there, we're going to be tying square knots all the way across. To tie a square knot, you need 4 cords. Make a loop with your far left cord, and then with your far right cord, wrap it behind and through the loop, and that's your first half of your square knot. Repeat the same process but to the opposite side, which completes your square knot. If I'm going too fast for you, you can always adjust the speed of this video by clicking the 3 dots on the top right corner. For the next row, we're going to alternate our square knots, which means we're skipping the first 2 cords and then tying a square knot with the following 4 cords. Okay, so I'm going to motor along and finish this row and then tie one more row of alternating square knots. At this point, I find it helpful to divide our work in half. So now we're going to continue to alternate our square knots, but we're going to be decreasing each row by 1 square knot to form a V. So to do this, for our next row, we're going to skip the first 4 cords and carry on alternating and then skipping the last 4 cords as well. And we're going to keep doing this until we get to the very last square knot. Okay, so we're going to do the exact same thing to the other side. And now we should have a chevron pattern that's formed. The next knot we're going to be doing is the double half hitch, and that will enhance our V shapes here. For this, I like to start in the center. I find that it makes our project a bit more symmetrical. So let's cross our 2 center cords so that our right cord will be our left side's filler cord. We will be tying our double half hitches around our filler cords. Just take care to hold your filler cord in the direction that you want your vertical line to go. If you need a better example of any of the knots that I use in this project, feel free to go check out my knot tutorial playlist. Once you completed this side, we're going to do the same thing to the other side of our diamond shape. And of course, we're going to do more double half hitches along the side of our work as well. Once we get down to the very bottom, we're going to have a gap. To solve this problem, we're going to tie our 2 filler cords together with 1 more double half hitch. Then we're going to repeat the same thing to the other side. I wanted the center of this wall hanging to be more prominent, so I decided to tie another row of double half hitches. Now make sure you stop at this point. Don't add in your lead cords from your side. We really want our center row of double half hitches to fit inside the rest of our wall hanging. If you go too far, then it kind of makes it all wonky. You'll see what I mean when we finish the center of our work. Okay, so here's the fun part, which has room for customization. For our center feature, I decided to do alternating square knots just to keep it simple, but you can do a variety of things here. You could try a different knot, like the Josephine knot would look pretty cool here. Or you can add beads or crystals here. Or maybe you could try adding some color by weaving in and out of the strands here. Honestly, there is a variety of different things that you can do into the center here, which just makes it a lot more customized and special. So if this isn't your first rodeo, I challenge you to do something cool here, and please tag me on Instagram. I would love to see it. This is my favorite part of macrame. No two artists are alike, and we all have our special flair and techniques, and I just adore seeing your work. You truly give me inspiration by seeing your work, just as much as I hope that I inspire you as well. I feel like we all give our work something unique, something different, even though the pattern may be the same. And you can completely see it. If you go check out my Instagram and you look through my shout out highlight reel, there's several patterns that everyone has done, and they are all so different, and they're all so beautiful in their own way. I love it. Okay, it's time to carry on and fill in the bottom half of our diamond shape with more double half hitches. This half is a little bit more tricky because we don't have that guideline of the rest of our knots, so just be sure that you're holding your filler cord straight here. And of course, close the gap by tying one more double half hitch with your filler cords. Next, we're going to tie one great big long V shape for our double half hitches going straight down to the bottom. This kind of completes the double lined theme that we have going on here. Alrighty, moving along, we're going to be tying 8 spiral knots. A spiral knot is essentially just half of a square knot tied over and over again, which starts to form a spiral in your cords. And if you find that your spirals aren't turning well enough, you can always just give it a little twist, and that way it'll be all good to go. Okay, so we're going to continue on with our spiral knots all the way across below our double half hitches. Here we're going to tie 2 more rows of double half hitches, and this part can get a little tough. The best thing you can do is just think of your spiral knots as a square knot and kind of go along in the order straight all the way down. But don't pull them too tight, otherwise your line will get a little bit wavy. You want to give them room to kind of breathe along down your filler cord. I hope that makes sense. So I'm just gonna motor along through this, and then we will do a second row of double half hitches. Despite having several different types of knots, this project really didn't take that long to make. It took me maybe about an hour. So now we're going to give our project kind of a rough trim. Don't make this part perfect because we are going to be combing it out and then trimming it again, and then combing and trimming and combing and trimming. Honestly, the more you comb and trim, the better your fringe will turn out in the end. And I gave it kind of a funky shape at the bottom. I really thought it was neat. I don't know if you've noticed, but I hit a really big YouTube milestone that means a lot to me. In my next tutorial, I plan on celebrating, and I have a really special announcement that I really think you will all benefit from, so I can't wait until then. And if you're new here, I really hope you consider subscribing for more macrame tutorials just like this one. I'll see you in the next one.